Romans chapter 10 verse 10. Your mouth, you show your faith in your heart through it. Hebrews chapter 10 verse 22. A way to clean your heart. Psalms chapter 90 verse 12. Is who to ask God. Romans chapter 12 verse 23. To discuss His will. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 4 through 8. We are children of light and put faith on. 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 15. By doing good and silence the fool you do God's will. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 15 through 20. Sing songs, psalms and hymns to another. Romans chapter 8 verse 28. All things work for good at the end. Psalms chapter 33 verse 11. God's plan in His heart continues for all generations. For God has a heart too. Now that we've seen the part of the heart, those things are the things written in the law, we will see one of the most important things, to put things in God's hands, and that is also in your heart. Isaiah chapter 48 verse 13. He created with His hands. Psalms chapter 106 verse 12 through 14. His hands save us. 2nd of Chronicles chapter 30 verse 12. His hand divided the Red Sea. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 1. God judges works people do. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 8. God delivers Israel with His hands from Egypt. 1 Peter verse 5 verse 6 through 8. Be humble under God's hands and He'll deliver. Don't trust on your own efforts. Put your efforts in God and pray to Him. When He moves everything and you hold on to His hand, no matter how hard things get, He will deliver your problems and save you. No matter how bad things get, you don't let go. He will never let go once you hold His hands, and He will never abandon you. At the end, He will deliver you from your enemies and pass the test. Remember, these are the things that have to be in your heart. and are part of the commandments of God. But know that besides this, there's also an important thing. You have to also have to be a child, because it is what God said. To enter the kingdom, you have to be a child. Here are some verses to explain those things in your heart. 1st of John chapter 3. Verse 1. We are called his children. Matthew chapter 19 verse 14. No, the kingdom belongs to the children of God. Galatians chapter 3 verse 26. Children of Jesus Christ through faith. John chapter 11 verse 22. The children of God are scattered around the world. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 6 through 7. Repeat the commands to your children in their hearts. Matthew chapter 18 verse 3. You must change to become like children to enter the kingdom of heaven. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 8 through 10. Children of light. 1st of John chapter 4 through 7. Love is born from God. Philippians chapter 1 verse 6. Good work at the end. First of Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 5. You're children of light. Hosea chapter 3 verse 1. The Lord loves the sons of Israel even after their mistakes, like they were children. Malachi chapter 4 verse 6. The hearts of children and fathers. For these are the verses that show us, even though it's not written in the Bible, the children have hearts and adults have hearts, and there are lessons and there are commandments in them. And even though people, Jesus did not say about the heart of a child, and there are no prophets that talk about it, but it is taught by God, and He said it to teach it in their hearts to their children from their fathers, the stories of the Bible. Know that this is a special reason why women and men are put together. For that is the reason why God made man and woman. For woman came from the ribs of man, so she is always next to him, to always remind him, so he can love like a child, and remember to love like God loves. And love is in the heart, so he can complete the law, and you can fulfill the law with love. The woman is made out of the rib, because it is what's next to the heart, and that's why God got it from there. Women are like children, because they follow their heart, and they love, and they're very childlike in many manners. But that is why, people, we are all children in this world. God, He created it, and we are His children. The adults, people, are the giants. We are only downsides. We're only children having wars, building buildings, and doing things we don't know, because we are cultivated and fooled by Babylon. To follow our hearts, we must obey the commands to save us from Babylon. Now that we see what the children and putting your hands are part of the heart, we also see Proverbs chapter 3 verse 3 through 6. Look for his way, not your own. Psalms chapter 33 verse 11. We're modeled like his heart. He has one like us. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6 through 7. The commands in our hearts, in our children too. People, we see those are the verses. Know that in the Bible, in the Ten Commandments, there's no place or says that the heart is in it. Simply, people, God's commandments are His voice. Everything He says with His words are His commandments. Just like Exodus, when He told about the Ten Commandments, He said, and His voice says, His word says, the commandments are His word, people. These are some verses that talk about His word and His commands. Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 29. To have fear in their heart and the commandments to do. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 20 to 21. Keep my words in your heart. Now that we've seen that, we will go to the next part to understand more about Psalms.